counterterrorism director, spent several years, in fact, living with some of the Tuareg who now are refugees in the camps that we were visiting as well. But let me ask you, Rudy, you heard Michael Sheehan there say he's very concerned about what's happening in Mali, and he's saying that all options will be considered. What options does the United States have? I mean, it's hard to really convey to people how remote and difficult it is to operate in this region.
Sure. Great question, Aaron. Actually, if I take you back to 2003, when some of these extremists were starting to embed themselves in northern Mali, one of them named Lupara, who was a former GSPC commander, which is the organization that became Al-Qaeda in the Islamic Maghreb, had kidnapped 32 tourists. The way we solved it is to work with regional partners to chase him across the desert, and then we were able to stop him. That was a success story that launched a 5-year package that the Department of Defense worked on. So that is one option that we have.
And I want to ask you in a moment about drone activity and what the U.S. is doing in the CIA, some interesting things we saw on that front. But first, I want to ask you about what's really at stake here. Viewers may remember we called the military leader of one of the key Islamic-linked, Al-Qaeda-linked militias. And here is a piece of tape of what he had to say about his ambition, what he wants to do. And obviously, CNN cannot, everyone confirm the complete authenticity of this, but we want to play it. Omar Hamaha is the military leader of Ansar al-Din.
This message is for France, the United States, and all the countries of OTAN. We're telling you the Mujahideen are ready to fight at any moment. We're not here to dominate the village. We're here for jihad, to spread the message of the Prophet Muhammad.
Is there any doubt in your mind that the intention of the leaders here, many of whom are coming from Al-Qaeda, Middle East, is to turn this into another safe haven country for operations in U.S. and Europe?
In my mind, there is no doubt whatsoever, Aaron. Actually, I'll use the balloon theory that we used to use in the Pentagon is whenever you squeeze a balloon, it's going to go out the path of least resistance. We've put a lot of pressure on Al-Qaeda. We've had some great successes in the AfPak region against them. In the Sahel region, unfortunately, we have not had those successes. About 3 weeks ago, Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb made a call, global call, to all foreign fighters to join them in the fight, but to come to Timbuktu. If you recall, the bulk of the foreign fighters in Iraq came from North African states. So the leadership of Al-Qaeda and the Islamic Maghreb is from a North African country called Algeria. And so this is where they have those roots back to those foreign fighters, and they're trying to bring them in to expand.
One of the other things we found is that there are no borders. The border, for whatever reason, it's incredibly remote. A lot of the countries that are on the border have weak militaries and governments as well. But when you look at northern Mali, Niger, Mauritania, Algeria, Burkina Faso, no borders. I mean, we were able to go back and forth. And by the way, the Islamic radicals and some of the militias were going back and forth.
Sure.
So what's going to happen? How big could this cancer be?
This cancer could actually spread. It can spread beyond West Africa, and it can have some repercussions in Europe. It can have some repercussions in other parts of the Middle East, and potentially the United States. It's very alarming. The big problem also is now they're setting up camps. There will be some training. They also have weapons from Gaddafi's arsenal. Still till today, we don't have a very good handle on precisely what they have in their capabilities in their hands. And it could be anything from surface to air missiles to more sophisticated weapons.